Today will be the day 9 of Devops mock interview and welcome all. Hi Vida, can you able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. Myself, Veda. I have 5+ years of experience in DevOps, and I have cultivated proficiency in several key tools in for modern software development and deployments. Firstly, GitHub. I have leveraged GitHub for extensively using the version control, and I'm well collaboration with the development teams for the seamless code management. Secondly, Jenkins. I have used Jenkins to automate the build, test, and deployment process. With these, we can deliver the pipelines without downtime. And thirdly, Docker. Docker, I have worked with the Docker. Uh, I'm deploying the applications in the Docker containers using Docker. Mm, for Kubernetes, I have managed the containerized applications at scale with the Kubernetes, and we used orchestration stages, deployments, and we use scaling, auto scaling, and with this we can deliver the application with the downtime, with the zero downtime, with some little downtime. uh, and we are using the Terra and worked in Terraform. Have employed the Terraform to provisioners and the infrastructure as a code. We can deliver, um, declare it. With these tools I have worked and well equipped to the contribution of your team. Apart from these tools, I have worked some other tools like for code quality check. We used SonarCube, and for monitoring we use Prometheus and Grafana. For image scanning of code vulnerability, we use Trivi. And yeah, that's it from me. And thanks for giving the opportunity to introduce myself.
Okay, so yeah, like whatever, like actually I just created some script and I provided to you, like to Veda. So he just prepared that script and he has introduced himself. Okay, I just want a feedback from like any one of you. So first I will like give my feedback to Veda. So you are like telling, but there is missing some confidence. Okay, and you need to speak like your like voice should be more confident and it should be very clear, and it will be like doubtful. You are delivering like doubtful. So yeah, if anyone have
Okay.
anything, just give him a feedback. It will help him a lot to prepare for the
Yeah.
next mock interview.
Okay. I think yeah. So it's just like a breaking in the voice, and it's a little bit of like it's kind of stopping along the line. So the flow is kind of, I mean, it doesn't really flow very well. But I mean, but there's room for improvement.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyone, any other who want to give him feedback, because you actually like listen to him, right?
Yes.
Harish, from you, any?
Yeah, hi Vera. Sorry, I'm not that person, big person to just give me a tip. So, like, I just learned this from my team lead. So, there should be not any in the while explaining there should not be any gap. It should be
Okay,
continuous with all the tools.
okay,
This
thank
will
you.
help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for your feedback.
Okay, now let's give chance to this Stephen. Yeah, please, Stephen. I just provide you the another
Okay.
script, right? Just
Yeah.
please introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Victor. With over 3 years of experience in In DevOps, I have played a pivotal role in optimizing development and deployment workflow while ensuring the reliability and scalability of infrastructure. In my previous role, I have been responsible for managing version control system like Git, overseeing branching strategies, and facilitating smooth code integration and deployment. As a Jenkins administrator, I have designed and maintained CI/CD pipeline, configured job triggers, and integrate automated testing framework to streamline the software delivery lifecycle. In in the realm of containerization, I have spearheaded Docker adoption, containerizing application, and managing Docker registries. Additionally, I have orchestrated containerized workload in production environment using Kubernetes, ensuring high availability and scalability. With Terraform, I have managed infrastructure as a code, defining cloud resources in a declarative manner, and automating the provision of cloud infrastructure across multiple environments. Furthermore, I have utilized Ansible for configuration management, automating server provisioning, application deployment, and system configuration tasks to enforce consistency and repeatability across diverse environments. On a day-to-day basis, I have collaborated closely with development, QA, and operation team, identifying opportunities to enhance automation, troubleshooting issues, and implement best practices for continuous integration and deployment. I have been involved in monitoring I have been involved in monitoring and performance optimization efforts to ensure optimal system performance and resource utilization. With our proactive approach to problem solving and a committed to continuous improvement, I have confidence in my ability to contribute effectively to your team's success by driving DevOps initiative and fostering a culture of innovation and collaboration. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself.
Okay, thank you so much. So whatever the script provided to Veda, like I just try to read it out. Okay, then you will get some idea. Like, hello, my name is so and so, right? With over 3 years of experience in DevOps, I have cultivated proficiency in several key tools, like essentially for the modern software development and deployment process. So coming to Git, I learned Git extensively for version control and enabling the collaboration between the development teams and facilitating the code management. And secondly, I worked on Jenkins where I have automated the builds, test and deployment processes. And coming to Docker, I have deployed applications in containerized environment, that too utilizing a Docker technologies. By this, I've enabled seamless deployment across different environments because Docker supports any environment. So in order to manage multiple containers, we have a tool called as Kubernetes. I have managed containers application and scale with Kubernetes. And I've done the deployment, scaling and managing the containerized workloads. Okay, coming to infrastructure, I just managed and I worked on a tool called as Terraform. Okay, Terraform will help us to write a code, nothing but infrastructure as a code, right? It will enable declarative configuration and it will automate the cloud resources, like whatever the resources we have created in the cloud, it will create using a code. So lastly, I worked on a configuration management tool which is Ansible. Okay, I've automated the configuration management and application deployment tasks with Ansible. So with a strong foundation in these tools, I can contribute for the team success. Okay, and I'm eagerly waiting to join your team, and I want to contribute more, and I'm also looking for my career growth. That's all about me. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay, I've just provided the script, but I just converted according to me. So whatever the scripts I'm providing, right, you no need to read it out. You can convert that script according to your requirement, according to your comfortability. So I just want from you a feedback. I have just read it out, but I'm not perfect. Okay, if there is any mistake from my side, please.
So the confidence was there. So and the flow was there as well.
Oh, okay. Is there anything like anyone like Harish?
flow, like it's continue without any gap, and this will explains the all the tools develops and how that will be used in organization.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. So whether you need to prepare like this, okay, whenever they ask, right, you no need to fear. You know all these tools. You know you already practiced. As you are applying as a experience, you can speak, right. You can read, like first you try to read it out. Okay, first read it in front of, just take a any notebook or mobile or text text pad. Read it continuously. Once you get the perfect tone right, then after slowly one paragraph by heart, then slowly you will get all these terms, and then you can speak directly. You are getting my point, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, shall we
Thank you.
continue our today's mock interview?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay, so today's I just collected some basic interview questions, not okay. What is DevOps and how does it differs from traditional IT practices? Anyone?
Mm, yeah, DevOps is a practice and culture that facilitate communication between the team, collaboration, and it also facilitate
Only 10 seconds. Okay,
okay,
only.
it's okay. It also facilitate this automation within the team, and it makes our deployment of our application faster. Unlike a traditional method like agile methodology and waterfall model, whereby um, application delivery takes months or numbers of years before application is delivered.
Okay, Veda, what is DevOps? How does it differ from traditional IT practices?
Yeah, DevOps like we are using extensively for deploying the application with less downtime. We are collaboratively connected with the development team across the development team and operations team, and we can rectify the errors while we are executing the scripts pipelines, as well as we are checking the logs, and we are delivering the products we are within fingertips.
Super. So yeah, whenever they ask, right, you need to cover, like you need to answer that in, try to answer it in within 60 seconds. It will be great, because if it is lengthy, if it is technical, okay, but if it
Yeah,
is a simple, you can answer. Like for suppose if they ask me what is DevOps, okay, DevOps is nothing but a practice. So coming to traditional IT practices, there is a waterfall model and the agile. So coming to waterfall model, during the development, so they used to work completely on development side, development for few months, then after testing for few months, and for deploying for few months. So that's like due to the traditional IT practices, right, client will not get like sorry, okay. So due to this in waterfall model, they are just slow up the process. So there is a disadvantages. That's the reason agile came into the picture. In the agile, what they used to do, they used to develop within a weeks. Okay, compare in waterfall, they used to develop in months, but here they have reduced it to weeks, so that there will be, and as well as the development was still the same, only the process was got changed to agile, but the working process within internally was remain the same. So in order to change that working process, DevOps came into this picture. DevOps made all teams come together, nothing but they make development team and operations team into together, and they merge both the teams. That's the reason we call it as DevOps. Dev means development, ops means operations, so that both teams will combine together and they sit together and they will work, and they will develop the application and they will deploy. So using that, we can able to deploy the application as fast as we can to the market. Okay, this is what DevOps. So what are the key components of a CI/CD pipeline?
The key components of the CI/CD pipeline is build, test, deploy. In building stage, we are building the application. We can test the application, and we can deploy the application with using the scripts.
Okay, Stephen.
Basically, the key component of CI/CD is we have continuous integration that involve the automating of the build stage. So in the testing, continuous testing, and code coverage and all that until we build the image, until we generate our artifact. And in the CD section, we have where the application is going to be delivered to the Kubernetes cluster until it's exposed to the outside world.
Okay, CI/CD is nothing but continuous integration and continuous deployment. So nothing but what are the code we are generating, it should be continuously deployed, and it will be, we have multiple environments. Okay, I will show it. This is like answer after few minutes. Okay, let's continue to next question. I don't want to reveal the answer. Anyway, we will discuss what is infrastructure as a code and which tools are commonly used.
Infrastructure as a code is a process of we are provisioning our infra using code, and most of the tools used are we are using Terraform, or if we want to use AWS, then we can use for AWS we are using a cloud formation.
Okay, now let's go back. Explain the concept of immutable infrastructure.
Okay, the concept of immutable infrastructure, like, is a process whereby it does not allow any changes once our infra have been provisioned.
How do you handle configuration management in DevOps environment?
We can handle configuration management and development using Ansible. There are several tools in like a configuration management, but extensively we are using Ansible because it is like not environment dependent. It will execute anywhere in anywhere any application using the YAML file.
Okay. What is containerization? How does it benefit DevOps?
Containerization
In the
is a
interview, they will
process.
ask. This is the most common question.
Okay, containerization is a process of like it's a process of making sure our application is kind of is containerized, is contained in an environment so that is gonna be easily compatible. So whereby the application can be run everywhere without.
Okay, containerization is nothing but a, like what it will be. It will be an isolated environment where we can run, deploy our application. Okay, and it is developed from a kernel feature called as namespace. Using namespace, this containers will be running. Okay, for this containers, how we will get this, like CPUs and RAMs with control groups, and how it benefits DevOps because it supports any environment. Okay, wherever you want to run, you can run the your application inside, because container is an isolated area, so that it doesn't matter, it will supports on any environment, because we will like build the application along with this their dependencies. We will pack that application. Okay, now let's go back to how does Kubernetes facilitates DevOps practices.
Kubernetes facilitate DevOps practices by making sure that our application health is good by orchestrating our containerized application by continuously monitoring the containerized application to make sure that it's in good health, and it also enable our application to be exposed to the outside world.
Okay, what strategies would you use for monitoring and logging in microservice architecture?
For monitoring application in the microservice architecture, we can adopt using Prometheus and Grafana. So we can use Prometheus and Grafana in monitoring the application health, and we can use Prometheus in collecting logs, while we use Grafana for visualization.
Yes, you are right. Can you describe a challenging DevOps problem you faced and how you resolved? So definitely they will ask what are the
So
challenges you have
this
faced and how you have
so
resolved it.
so are you saying in two whys, or
In
it's just
DevOps,
okay in
whatever
DevOps?
it may be, you can use any tool, doesn't matter.
Okay, so basically, I've faced in Kubernetes, I've faced a situation whereby the application was unable to be exposed to the outside world. So then, upon checking the pod, I discovered that the image tag is different from what is in the YAM manifest, in the Kubernetes manifest file. So I was able to resolve this by ensuring that the image tally with each other. And so I made this correction, and we later deployed back to the Kubernetes cluster, and the application was able to be exposed to the outside world.
Super. So like this, you need to explain anyone. So you can elaborate this. So I just troubleshooted by seeing the logs, right? By using kubectl logs and the pod name. Then I get to know that I got an error of image pullback. So image pullback is nothing but tag was the tag defined was wrong. So due to that the pod was not working. So I just re-verified the tag and I just updated the correct tag. Then after my application started working. Now I just want to give a opportunity for Veda. Just you can explain, not Kubernetes, you can take any other tool if you want. I just want you to explain a challenge you got and how you have resolved it, because it will help you in real interview. They will ask you what are the challenges you have faced. At the time you need to tell
Yeah,
anything.
in DevOps, I have faced one challenge, like we had by configuring the CI/CD pipeline. Once, firstly, I have configured the CI script with the different versions, and with different versions and the tools configuration. And then I used to build that script. It throwing some errors. I troubleshooted the errors by go and checking the logs in the Jenkins, and I used to give some different value, but I have defined a different value and a different version. Example for Java as well as Maven, I provided different versions, and but in scripts I've written different version, and then I go and change that one, as well as I forgot to mention, like I forgot to configure the tokens with the Sonar Cube and Sonar Sonar Cube and the Docker Hub credentials. I didn't
No,
mention that.
if they ask you, right, you should not tell two to three. You just tell one. So you said there is some configuration mistake of Java. So
Yes.
it should be clear, like what Java. Did you use the wrong name or you have taken wrong version of plugin?
I have taken the raw version of plugins. I mentioned in script like Java
Which
17, but
version you have selected?
uh, yeah, I have mentioned in script Java 17, but I have selected for Java something like 8 or 9. I found
Why
that
why
it's
you will select in script? We doesn't write any Java 17 in our script. We directly use the plugins. We don't write any Java versions in our
we
plugins.
are
We just execute commands directly.
I think maybe you might want to use, like, in your Jenkins server. Probably you in the Jenkins home, you install Java 17. So then in your Jenkins user interface, you put maybe like Java 11 in your when you are doing the configure in the
Okay,
tools configuration.
okay,
So
Veda, in the script you have mentioned, you are telling where you have mentioned wrong. In the script, you told right? You
In
mentioned wrong.
yeah, in script I have mentioned tools.
Oh,
In tools block I have
it's
mentioned
not
Java
a
17.
okay. It's a tag. It's a like plugin name. It is not a version.
JDK 17 is its
It's
version, right?
it's a name, right? It's a name for
No,
your plugin.
yeah, what we have mentioned in script, right? If, for suppose we have selected different one in while we are configuration, it will not execute. I faced that issue yesterday as well.
Okay, you have chosen the correct in the
After
script.
that, I
You have
have
given
chosen.
correct
Yes,
tag
yes,
name
yes, yes,
in the plugin. Also the correct name,
yes,
but the version was mismatch.
yes.
Yes. Yeah, you need to tell clear because I didn't understand.
Okay, sure, sure.
Okay, how do you ensure security in DevOps pipeline?
So,
We
okay.
go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. In DevOps pipeline, so in the CI/CD pipeline, we for security to ensure security, you can scan your Docker image always using Twiv for scanning the Docker image, and you can also use Fortify for making sure that your code is continuously scanned. So then after doing that, so then I've also made some research for your Git, you can always use Talisman to continuously scan your code to
Okay,
ensure security. You can also create environment variable.
okay,
Um,
okay. Yeah, continue.
you can also create environment variable for your this thing, your Docker file. Always keep your Docker file in an empty directory. And if yeah,
Yeah, for password also we can create variables. Right, for suppose if you are
yes, for
taking example
password
of Jenkins, right, we can give our credentials, we can configure our credentials in Jenkins dashboard, so we can call that variable rather than giving directly the name. So this is called like comes under security. We can like
you
secure our
can also use
passwords using some
Ansible.
vaults. For every tool we would be for Ansible there is an Ansible vault. Okay, by using that vault for Terraform there is a Archicop vault. Okay, by using that vault we can able to secure our passwords. For Kubernetes there is a secrets. So for every tool in DevOps there is a particular feature is available for a security purpose. So you can tell this. Veda, you can contribute if you want. Then after
Um,
I will show you the answers.
for security, we are using in CI/CD we are using Trivia 45. Or else we are we are storing the credentials used in GitHub like some secret files. In Terraform also we can declare the secret files like dot secret in Terraform. We can use that secret files in anywhere, not like a vault. And in Ansible, we are using Ansible vault. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. Shall we check the answers?
Yeah, sure.
So first question, what is DevOps and how does it differ from traditional IT practices? Okay, that's the question I have asked you.
Are you sharing the screen? Or
Okay, just a moment, let me share. So first is what is DevOps? Right, how does it differ from traditional IT practices? Right, DevOps is a set of practices that combine software development and IT operations. Same thing that I said, right? It aims to shorten the systems development lifecycle and provides continuous delivery with high software quality. So unlike traditional IT practices, which often separate development and operations into silos, DevOps promotes collaboration and communication between these functions, enabling faster and more reliable software releases. So you need to buy hard this and you need to answer. So whatever I told, right, it's not a, it's my own way. But if you tell this, right, it will be more professional. Okay, but I don't follow the professional. If I if I want to switch right at the time, I will prepare. But right now, whatever coming into the mind, I'm just telling. But if I am want to switch, definitely I will learn everything. So what are the key components of CI/CD pipeline? Which is source control, build, test, deploy, and monitor. Okay, you can read it out. I don't want to read. What is infrastructure as a code? Infrastructure as a code is a practice of managing, provisioning, computing infrastructure through machine readable scripts. So rather than physical hardware configuration or interactive configuration tools, common tools includes Terraform, open source tool for building, changing, and versioning infrastructure. Ansible, open source automation tool for configuration management. Chef is also a configuration management tool. AWS Cloud Formation is for AWS resources. And explain the concept of immutable infrastructure. Immutable infrastructure is a design, right, in which servers are never modified after they deployed. Instead, when changes are needed, new servers are built from a common image with the necessary changes, and the old servers are decommissioned. This approach helps in avoiding configuration drifts, making deployment more predictable and easier to troubleshoot. You are getting what is immutable? Nothing but they will deploy the application like server. Once they want to update any changes, they will create a new server and they will add a new feature in that server. If it is working, they will delete the old one. That's a immutable infrastructure. How do you handle configuration management in DevOps environment? Okay, Ansible use AML based playbooks for automations. Chef, domain specific language, which is Ruby. I worked on Chef as well. I worked on Puppet as well in 2016. In 2018, I worked on Chef. Now, 2024, Ansible was ruling everywhere. But before that, 2019, Chef was there. Before 2008, like 17, Puppet was ruling. There is also a Salt Stack which uses Python. But right now, market was looking for Ansible, so you need to export in Ansible. So what is containerization and how does it benefit DevOps? Okay, isolation, I told you, right? Applications run in isolated containers. Scalability, containers can be easily scaled. Resource efficiency, containers shares the host system's kernel, so making them more efficient than virtual machines. Portability, containers can run consistently across different environment. So I told you, right, container is an isolated environment and it works on everywhere. Okay, we can scale. I just missed this point. How does Kubernetes facilitates DevOps practices? Right, Kubernetes is an open source container orchestration platform that automates the deployment, scaling, and management of containerized application. It facilitates DevOps practices by automating deployment, scaling applications, self-healing, nothing but automatically restart failed containers and replaces unhealthy ones. Service discovery and load balancing, distributes network traffic across containers. So what strategies would you use for monitoring and logging in microservice architecture? So for monitoring and logging in microservice architecture, centralized logging, use tools like ELK, nothing but Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, okay, or Fluentd to aggregate logs from different services. Elasticsearch will collect the logs. Okay, once you collect the logs from Elasticsearch, Logstash will convert that logs into one common format. Okay, like Windows will collect the logs in one format, Mac will collect the logs in one another
Yeah.
format. So you need to have a one unique format. Elasticsearch will just collect the logs. So that log will be converted into one uniform format by Logstash. Once Logstash get that logs, using that logs, we will create a dashboards in Kibana. So distributed tracing, I worked on ELK stack as well long back. Tools like Jagger and Zipkin to trace request as they like. So this is the new tool. Okay, I too I'm not aware of this. Metrics, nothing but use Prometheus or Grafana for collecting alerting. You can select the alerts as well. So can you describe a challenging DevOps problem you faced and how you resolved it? Right, We experienced frequent application downtime during deployment due to inconsistent environment between development, staging, and production. What is the resolution? We implemented infrastructure as a code using Terraform to standardize environment provisioning across all stages. I told you right here they have taken example of Terraform. It doesn't matter. You need to tell any tool. So we adapted Docker for containerization, ensuring that the same container images were used for development through to production. This resolved the environmental inconsistency and reduced downtime during deployment. So how do you ensure security in DevOps pipeline? Okay, to ensure security in DevOps pipeline, integrate security testing, right? Incorporate static code analysis, vulnerability scanning, and dependency checking into the CI/CD pipeline using tools like SonarQube, OWASP. Secret management, I told you that you can use Vault, Archive Vault, or AWS Secret Manager. Okay, apply the principle of least privilege to all systems and services. Continuous monitoring. Okay, you can continuously monitor and alert. Use tools to automate compliance checks and ensure security policies and standards. Okay, so let me stop the recording.